Wii U. Christmas 2013, I opened the last box of my stack of presents, and there it was. An at-game Sega Genesis. My mom tells me to go in the game room where she could set it up for me, and then I see it in the corner of my eye. An 8-foot-tall figure with bleached skin and a featureless face. It was a Wii U! The Wii U released at a time where I was in the height of my gaming phase. Before this, consoles were just fun toys that Dad bought me, but now game consoles are my passion. I was pumped for this thing. I saw Nintendo Land and said, damn, that looks like a lot of fucking fun. Real thing I said when I was 6, I'm not lying. But despite my hype, I ended up not getting it that release year. I'd have to wait another year before I got to play Nintendo Land for myself. That's a fucking violation of my human rights. I'm shocked that I lived. My brother got the thing the year release, so it wasn't like it was the first time I ever touched a Wii U, but in 2013, I got my own very own gamepad in my very own hands, and I loved life. This thing would be as successful and good as the Wii, and life will go on. But after Mario Kart 8 and my disappointment with Mario Party 10, I genuinely never touched this thing other than to play Minecraft whenever my Xbox 360 wasn't available, or if I really wanted to play Wii Sports Resort or Wii Party because mommy threw away my Wii because she's a fucking bitch. At the time, I loved this thing, but looking back, you can see why this thing flopped hard. The Switch being as successful as it is a miracle, because going from your worst selling console to your best selling console in one generation is kind of fucking nuts. But now that I'm thinking about that, they literally did that the last 2 generations, so it's not that crazy. My modders breathed new life into older consoles, so it'd be the same thing here, right? Modders are gonna give me a reason to go back to this thing and a reason for this thing to exist overall, and, you know, life will be all fine and dandy, right? You know, making this video was different from my 3DS and Wii videos. The Wii was my favorite console. I had so much saved on this thing. This is where I platinum ranked every Wii Play Motion Mini game. So it has a lot of historical value. The 3DS I haven't had the most time with in the modding scene, but my Nintendo Zelda Picross has me on a ball and chain thanks to modding. The Wii U I've been modding nearly as long as the Wii. Back in the day, the only exploit available for my broke ass was the online exploit. Basically popping in files into an SD card and running it through a website made your Wii U a modded machine. And yeah, that's cool, but the Wii U itself didn't stay modded permanently. Every time you shut the thing down, you'd have to run the exploit all over again. It was tedious as all hell, and I ended up just preferring to use my Wii over the Wii U. But with new developments, you no longer have to use this outdated mean of homebrew. Wii U modding in general consists of getting something known as a custom firmware, or CFW for short. It takes the same amount of effort to say both, I don't gaff. Custom firmware is basically a modified version of the console's operating system, allowing people to run unsigned code on it so modders can basically do whatever the hell they want on it. The first widely used custom firmware was Hacksheet, created by Fix94, which required people to buy DS Virtual Console games in order to use them as injections for the custom firmware. This meant that your DS game was essentially fucking dead, and it just activated the custom firmware. Brain Age, sealed away forever. Mocha, created by Demok, I think that's how you say it, came later for the broke ashes. It was a free method, but required people to use the internet browser, which, sucked. Eventually, this was later used as the base for Tiramisu by Mashnell, which is recommended for most beginners today. Mashnell is also developing Aroma, which is another custom firmware, which is slowly but surely becoming the most popular version, and if you use the absolute blessed WiiU.hacks.guide, which you should, they will guide you through installing both Tiramisu and Aroma. You don't need Tiramisu to use Aroma, but most apps that don't work with Aroma, you're gonna need Tiramisu for. And now, my child, you have successfully modded your Wii U, and your Wii U is now modded, and you can WOD your Wii, and you can mod the Wii without having to use the internet browser. Woohoo! So, did this make me like Wii U modding even more? Well, not really more, but honestly, it really made me appreciate it a lot more, hence why I even still bothered making this video. Also, like with my Wii and 3DS modding video, just back up your fucking NAND. It's so easy, just fucking do it. It saves your Wii U from an accidental brick. Just back it the fuck up. bigsleeter, what can you do with a modded Wii U? And why should you mod a Wii U? Well, I'll tell you, motherfucker. You just gotta let me finish. Well, of course, you know, there's a homebrew app store, which is a homebrew app store. It lets you get homebrew apps. It's a store. I don't really touch this app because a lot of the stuff I want to do requires a PC anyway, but it's like Universal Updater, so you can use it. The first real app I want to mention, though, is BluePair. BluePair is an app that lets you connect any Bluetooth controller to use on the Wii U. Basically, any popular controller that has Bluetooth can be paired to the Wii U and used as a controller. I know you'd probably be using the Gamepad or Pro Controller anyway, but for those who really want to play Nintendo Land with a DualSense, BluePair's got you. Another useful app that's good to mention is SaveMe. It backs up your save files and lets you import ones from the internet. Now you can look cool to your friends when you show them your 100% save file for Zombie U. I never use it, but it's good to mention because someone in the comments would tell me I forgot it. Oh, bigsleeter, you forgot SaveMe. Well, here it is. Here's the mention. I didn't forget it. You ever look at your Wii U menu and you say, oh, that's boring as fuck? Well, make it spiffy with SD Caffeine. Okay, SD Caffeine isn't a theme manager. It's just a mod loader. I say it like it's boring like that. Nope, SD Caffeine's a mod loader. If the game has mods for it, just load it up through SD Caffeine. It's like Revolution, but for the Wii U. You can load all kinds of game mods, like, that one. Not only that, like I mentioned earlier, you can get custom themes for your home menu or the Wara Wara Plaza. While SD Caffeine isn't required for it, it's much easier and safer to go through SD Caffeine than just do it yourself. On a completely separate playing field, trust me, we'll get to what you want to see, we have Moonlight. Moonlight's a super cool app that lets you stream PC games to the Wii U. I learned about this app because my friend was playing Sonic Frontiers and streamed it to his Wii U with Moonlight. He tricked the VC, but he couldn't trick me. Moonlight's also on the 3DS, and you can stream stuff on the 3DS, but why the fuck would you do that? It barely works on the Wii U. I couldn't get Moonlight to run for more than 3 minutes on my Wii U. I had a joke about Spectrum Internet, but for the sake of my career, I shall keep it to myself. But if I could get it to work, I totally see myself using this, just on something with a better screen. And of course, I know what you're here for. Give me YouTube, an app that lets you revive the YouTube app for Wii U. I know, I missed watching YouTube videos too. Fill up your hard drive with games that you already own with this 2 app, which dumps all of your game discs onto the hard drive. I know what you're here for, okay? You're here for the ship sailing, the treasure finding, the games! For you disgusting broke bitches that can't buy games themselves, you have an app known as Nuspli, which is like 8shop, but for something less people own. For PC users, there's Wii U Downloader, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Use whatever one you want to use. With Nuspli, you download it straight to the Wii U without hassle. With Wii U Downloader, files go into a folder on your SD card, which has to be used with an app Web Installer GX2 to fully install. Once it's downloaded, it's yours, my friend. As long as you don't tell anybody I said this to you, because I don't have lawyers and can't afford the lawsuit for a console they don't even support anymore. And while it is kind of slow to download stuff on Nuspli, I still like the convenience of downloading content directly on the console. I'll gladly take a leisurely stroll while waiting for Wii Party U to download. It's been long deprecated, but one of the apps that got me into Wii U modding back in the day was Loading. Basically, it was the Wii U's equivalent of USB Loader GX. You had all your games on a USB and loaded them through Loading, which you had to have a specific game to act as the game being loaded, which can be a bitch sometimes, but Loading's existence definitely got me and others into modding this thing. Obviously, it's more convenient just to download the game on the Wii U with Web Installer, but I feel like I had to mention Loading because it's kind of the reason I even tried the online exploit to begin with, and it's an important historical artifact in Wii U modding history. As I mentioned with the 3DS modding video, Pretendo Network's available on Wii U and works just about the same as it did on 3DS. Games that use Nintendo Network are preserved through the Pretendo Network. I've seen Mario Maker being the big talking point for the service alongside Smash 4, Mario Kart 8, Splatoon 1, but I think the coolest revival of this is Wii U Chat and the close seconds Miiverse. For the little babies in my audience who don't know, Miiverse was a social media app for PC, Wii U, and 3DS. If you had a Nintendo Network ID, you could suspend your game at a funny moment and show the world some silly thing that happened in New Soup U, or cool drawings that would show up around Splatoon sometimes. Miiverse was discontinued in late 2017 after the Switch was released, and its shutdown was met with sadness across social media as there was never a successor to Miiverse for the Switch. But now with Pretendo Network, Miiverse has been saved. Now I can post about how 3D World's a fun game, but I really hate my parents. Of course, Wii U Chat's 100% working. That was a Pretendo Network priority. Compatibility changes game to game, but most games you want to play anyway are pretty much playable with some small issues here and there. But if you're still playing the inferior Mario Kart 8 on Wii U and want your ctgp to call your own, I got you. It's called ctgp-u. Unfortunately, like ctgp-Wii and ctgp-7, ctgp-u isn't as fleshed out and hasn't been updated in over 4 years, which, like, yeah, most people moved on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Mario Kart 8's just kind of that inferior first version of Mario Kart 8. There's only 17 tracks, 12 Grand Prix, so it's not as fleshed out as 7 or Wii, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe does have ctgp Deluxe, which is just the Mario Kart 8 ctgp you're really asking for. So just play it on there. And it was kind of sad to hear ctgp-u isn't as great as ctgp-Wii or 7, but let's be honest, you're probably playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe over Mario Kart 8 anyway, so updating a mod for a game people are playing over on a more successful console that has its own similar mod is just a waste of time, really. But if you're stubborn and love the Wii U, it's on Game Banana, which also has a bunch of other Mario Kart 8 mods and a bunch of other Wii U games. But modding the Wii U can be a two-step ordeal, as you're gonna want to do some cool shit you can do over here on the VWii. Well, Wii.hex.guide, the website for Wii hacking, has a guide for modding the Virtual Wii on Wii U. Basically, everything you can do with Wii modding is able to be done here, playing online with Wiimify, emulators, Nintendo, getting every single original Wii service, including ones that were never on the Wii U to begin with Wii Link 24, and USB loader. If you could do it in this video, you can most likely do it here. Just be sure to double check. I talk about it more in my Wii modding video, so just go watch that. it's a good video, I think. If I like it, then you probably will like it because I don't like most of the videos I make anyway. Homebrew games! Everything I stated in the last 2 videos are here and run the best on any console previously stated. Any homebrew game on the Wii like 3D Pinball and the amazing Super Mario World can be run through the Virtual Wii, and stuff like the decoms of Sonic 1, 2, CD, and Mania and Super Mario 64 run natively and miles better than they ran on the Wii and 3DS. Apparently, the 3DS has an updated version of Mario 64 that runs at a solid 60 on the old 3DS, but I have yet to try that out yet. But the Wii U is my Mario 64 machine, no doubt. I've been playing this game non-stop as it runs at a solid 60 FPS and feels so damn buttery smooth, and I'm not gonna lie, this actually made me love 64 a lot more than I originally did. Now, as a token Zelda fan, I need to mention Ship Our Hakinian, which is the PCD compilation of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and of course it's been ported to the Wii U. What hasn't been? As of writing this, I haven't tried it out for myself, but from what I've seen of it, it looks to run pretty damn good with little to no issue. For GTA fans, GTA 3 has also been ported to the Wii U and runs really good. Vice City has a port, but that was taken down by Rockstar a little bit ago, but I've seen people say that it's still up on the internet somewhere out there amongst the stars. Doom works too, but what doesn't fucking Doom work on? But I think one of the coolest ports that actually really work for the Wii U is Five Nights at Freddy's. Actually, it has 2 ports. One port created by Source Macchiato is just the 3DS port on the Wii U. The bottom screen for the 3DS version is the Wii U gamepad. The top screen is the top screen on the 3DS. But technically, there's full Wii U gamepad functionality. On the other side, there's the port by Mystic Tortoise. This requires you to own FNAF 1 on your computer as it needs it to build the WUB file. But once you get it installed, it's Five Nights at Freddy's. This also has gamepad functionality, and honestly, I like how it does it a lot more than Source Macchiato's because it utilizes the Wii U gamepad in full. The entire camera system is fully integrated on the Wii U gamepad. The TV is just the office and the gamepad's just the camera. And I mean it, the entire camera system on the gamepad. And it takes advantage of this too, allowing you to look up on the TV to shut doors while the cameras are active on the gamepad. It's exactly how people assumed FNAF would play if it was on the Wii U. Though on my Wii U, Source Macchiato's version ran smoother than Mystic Tortoise's, so whichever version of FNAF you want to play is totally up to you if you really care about FNAF running at 60 FPS solid. They both are really cool and they both have their positive and negatives against each other, so whichever one you want to choose is totally preference. Here's the emulator section. I'd like to talk more about emulators, but honestly, with these consoles, I don't have much to say on the matter. Most of the games I want to play are already playable on Virtual Console, which you can already download on Nuspill and Wii U Downloader anyway. Games that aren't already, I can just inject with T-Commun's Wii VC Injector, or VCI, excuse me, I'm sorry. But as for the consoles that you can get with Virtual Console, alongside some that aren't on Virtual Console, you can just get RetroArch on the Wii U. Now for Aroma users, there isn't a virtual version out there, but I've seen some beta builds for Aroma, and I wasn't going to risk my Wii U to try it, so I just tried to do it on Tiramisu, and it runs. PS1 emulation was just fine, but if I was going to play PS1 games, I would honestly just recommend using Wii SXR and playing them there. I used Wii Station as it was the only inject that actually worked for me thanks to Funky Scott 74's injection, and honestly it runs pretty damn solid. Wii Station's literally just another version of Wii SXR, but I couldn't tell you the difference other than it worked on my Wii U and Wii SXR didn't. Crash 2 ran fine, staggering from 40 to 60 FPS, but it was totally playable. It was a bit slower than I like it to run sometimes, but I bet if I tinkered with it, it'd run a whole lot better, and there's probably other games out there that run infinitely better than Crash 2 on this emulator. On RetroArch it ran the same, but whatever. You can also do this with Wii 64 as the creators of Wii 64 made Wii SXR, but once again, I just inject the games I want to play or just get them through Nuspill or Wii U Downloader. But I think one of the coolest injection methods are Wii Virtual Console injections. Wii games run natively on the Wii U thanks to Wii Mode, but some games were actually re-released on the eShop through Virtual Console. If there isn't a game on Virtual Console, you can just inject it, install it through UpInstaller, and play it natively on your Wii U. And the best part is that games with classic controller compatibility are playable on the Wii U gamepad. This isn't a homebrew thing, this is something the Wii U could do with digital Wii downloads on the Wii U, but the gamepad emulated the classic controller, so however it's mapped on a classic controller, it's mapped exactly like that. Xenoblade Chronicles, Smash Brawl, MK Wii, Sonic Unleashed, and Sonic Colors are all compatible with the Wii U gamepad and are my favorite ways to play these games without competition. Well, except for Mario Kart Wii, because nothing beats playing online with the OG Wii. Galaxy 1 and 2 were not compatible due to no classic controller compatibility, but with the classic controller patches for both Galaxy 1 and 2 and this guide by TBA10, you can get it working. Using the right stick as a pointer isn't as good as using either the Switch touchscreen or the pointer, but I found out just keeping it in my relative vicinity to be ideal for stuff just like that. Also, Galaxy 1 had some issues while trying to get it to work, and the process of getting that game patched was a bitch. Even then, there was instances of the game just booting into a crash screen, which I saw many people deal with, but after a reboot of the Wii, it seemed perfectly fine. Galaxy 2 was much easier and didn't crash, and yeah, I like playing it like this. I think I'd rather play Galaxy on All-Stars over playing it on the Wii U, but Galaxy 2 being excluded from All-Stars, I think this is my preferred method of playing these, looking past the sort of balked use of the pointer. A console that was noticeably absent from the Wii Virtual Console was the GameCube, but with Nintendo, you can actually play GameCube games through it with the classic controller, and they run natively. But even better, if you have specific GameCube ISO files, you can project them onto the Wii U home menu and play these games with the gamepad. And for games that use analog triggers, you can actually map the L and R buttons to be half presses to make games like Sunshine a much better experience. And that alone makes me love this console a whole lot more than I ever did. I know I started this video pretty damn dull on the idea of what the point of even modding one of these things is, but now the process and stuff you can do with this thing has me hooked on the Wii U. Mario 64 running natively had me replaying the game and having the most fun I ever had playing 64. Playing SA2 again in the most comfortable position I've ever been in, and remembering why it's my favorite game ever, it was awesome. Hell, playing Galaxy 2, kind of like playing it All-Stars? Remember back in 2020 getting super fed up with always having to go through the exploit over and over again? And it really killed my interest in modding this console, but now with Aroma and all the cool stuff you can do on this thing nowadays, I can safely call myself a Wii U super fan. And I hope this video convinces you to mod the Wii U as well. I loved this console as a kid. I didn't gaff if I was the only one in school with one, and while I genuinely never had use for this thing once I got my Switch due to most of my Wii U games being ported over, modding this thing has made me a huge Wii U player once again, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. And you know, making these modding videos has really got me back into modding in general. So maybe, you know, maybe I'll stray away from Nintendo modding and go into other console modding, you know, PS3, PSP, PS Vita, that's it. And so with that said, have just an okay day.